I think the most challenges is it's more about the social and economic rights. It's very easy for the government to just to be like the representative of the business sector instead of the representative of people.
We needed to really highlight how business has really um, influenced a lot of the human rights situation. So it's really how businesses and governments work together and how a lot of the communities are affected.
Human rights will and democracy will meaningless if it not benefit the poor, marginalized, right? And it will not be the real human rights.
As long as the governments don't embrace our basic rights as the fundamental, the basic pillar or the essential foundation for their vision for the country's development, we will still be in this time of keep pushing their envelope and keep working on, to fulfill our basic rights enjoyment. I think without that, peace and development agenda can never be successful.
There is a similarity in terms of democracy rollback. ASEAN, most of the countries are trying to copy each other on the repressive laws. As a region, as an ASEAN region, the civil society have to push forward, have to understand this and voice out as a one voice against this repressive government in ASEAN.
But a lot of people are still speaking their minds. Not everybody is going to take a placard down to the street and march around. It's never been that way. But the issue is that the vanguard of human rights promoters and defenders, are not stymied. And that, with the support of the international community, with the support of international NGOs like Human Rights Watch and regional international NGOs like Forum Asia, those people will continue to have the confidence to voice their concerns and demand their rights.
And also, the role of human rights defenders is to educate people. We need to spread the words, not only demand to the government, but we need also spread the words. So that's why working closely with the journalists, with the media is very important.
Is the growing of radicals in terms of religions and beliefs that becomes a threat to any democracy.
We've seen a rise in Muslim nationalism in Malaysia, where ultra-nationalists have used hate speech and violence to threaten non-Muslims. We've seen Indonesia jail someone for saying that they were an atheist on Facebook. We've also seen the rise of hate speech and violence by ultra-nationalist Buddhists in Burma, who actually have created an environment where we're now seeing a pre-genocidal situation affecting the Rohingya, and we've seen the passage of very discriminatory laws.
We, unfortunately, in Pakistan, obviously we are a society that has become radicalized over a period of two, 3 decades. So we are fighting a battle of mindsets. Historically, if you look at the region also, being a male-dominated society and a radicalized society, it has not much space for females to come forward. Overall, the society does not want to accept female empowerment, but that's changing. A lot of women are coming into this field. A lot of women are speaking out despite all the obstacles and the overall environment being very restrictive.
From a women's rights perspective, we do see a diminished perspective where governments who say they're interested in women's rights are really only interested in a superficial level of non-discrimination and not delivering all women's rights, which is why I say it's now very important for us to think about human rights are women's rights.
Emerging issues is the flows of irregular migrations with all human rights problems it has.
We're still a little bit far away from being able to bring refugees themselves to be able to speak in their voices. We're trying our best to do that. Refugees, for instance, can't travel. So you can't take them to places where their voices should be heard. So very often we are therefore constricted in representing them. At the end of the day, it should be the refugees themselves who should be speaking for the rights.
Look into the challenges of this time, especially the challenge of climate change and the degradation of environment. How do all this impact in our human rights work? How do you bring in the human rights discourse in the climate change debate?
Poverty, development, human rights, and conflict. Plus, this new emerging issue is the climate change and human rights and environment. So that's our current challenge.